tal, mis queridos amigos de The Wine Club? Bueno, pues hoy vamos a tener una gran charla. Vamos a hablar sobre los vinos de Wachau en Austria. Y para esta charla tengo dos grandes amigos. Una de ellas que ya tiene años que la conozco, se llama Annemarie Foidl, que es una persona muy importante, es la presidenta de los sommeliers en Austria. Y por otro lado tengo a Emmerich Knoll, que es dueño y uno de los grandes representantes de los vinos de Wachau. Espero que les guste. Hello, my friend.
How are you?
Very good, very nice. So
Super.
thank you, both of you, to support me with this marvelous presentation. As you already know, Anne-Marie, I'm a very big fan of wines from Austria, but you know, to try to understand better, I think the best way is to go region by region or sub-region by sub-region, because each one has a different styles, even if you have the same kind of grapes and things like that. So that's what I have the idea to do it like how wines. And thanks, Emmerich, to share with us and with the audience.
Thank you. I am flattered to do this for you today.
Super. It's so great that Emmerich is with us because he's the best one to do it.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm going to link it with just 1 second.
One second, I'm coming in a second.
Yeah.
Give me one. Can I try to share my screen?
Yes, please.
With you?
Yes. Can you or check it out? Yeah. Now it's working. Yeah.
Can you see this?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay. Now the question is, how can I
on shirt?
No. The question is, how can I
pass the slides?
Yes, but I think no, it's going always. Okay, should work.
Yes, it's going like that. You can. I think that both we are seeing the same slides.
Everybody sees my key facts slide. Okay.
Super.
Now one more thing. Can we try to start the video from here? I have a 1 minute Leuben video just to show people around.
Sorry.
Don't worry. Okay. Yeah, I can see the video, but let's see if the audio works. Sometimes we need to do the setup things. No, I cannot.
You know what?
I cannot listen the audio. Maybe
I would.
Yeah, you have to.
I guess I would recommend to show the video and speak to it probably.
But you can. I mean, in the audio configuration.
Oh wait, I didn't hear you now. 1 second.
Yeah. No, we cannot listen. In the audio section, you can do the configuration of the audio.
Yes, but give me 1 second. The thing is, anyway, it's in German.
Okay.
so probably the best would be if I just talk.
Yeah.
To the video.
Better. Yeah. So we don't need audio.
Yeah, we can decide whether we take I think the 1 minute thing is fine, just to get a brief idea. What do you think?
Perfect. Yeah, because video, it's good to let them know exactly. I mean, the panorama, the views, the vineyards, and everything else. Okay.
Yeah, we see a little bit, but I could also do we can also do the longer one, and I speak to it. Whatever you prefer.
Okay, so let's see how it works, and then we can do both, and we can see different options.
I can, if you want, I can send you. Where am I? Where's my presentation? Yeah, I can send you this. So until we start, you can have a look at it if you want, but maybe it's too late.
You can send it to me, but anyway, send it to me, and I will
Yes.
let the people know that if they want to see it, I will share with them, or we can share through the social media, and both ways, and I think it will be better.
I will share the whole presentation, I guess, with you. Is that fine?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
Do I have an email from you? I'm not sure.
Think so I'm not sure. Anyway, I will. I have yours. I have yours. I send you an email.
Just drop me a quick email and I'll answer and send you a link because it's 9 megabytes big, so you can easily download.
Masterclass.
Is my screen still shared?
Yes. Yeah, you are right in the email.
How do I stop sharing the screen?
On the top, you have the option, and there's a red button where you can unshare.
Here.
Yeah.
How can we try if I can put on mine?
Yes, please.
I would like to.
I send it to you, Emmerich.
Okay, I'll check.
Yeah, Annemarie, you want to share a screen?
Yes.
This is yours?
Yes.
Yeah, I see the presentation.
Super.
But do the full thing?
Yes, I just 1 second because I don't see everything. How do I get back to see all?
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
I just see you three, but not my
presentation.
Yes, I don't see my.
Yeah, because we see your presentation, but you can unshare and share again. Try to unshare.
So, and now again?
And then do the full presentation here in the bottom part.
Is it again?
In the full presentation, the bottom.
Yeah.
In the bottom, yeah. Right there. No. Just do the presentation in the full part to see how it works.
So
yeah, it's a
new.
Down.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now I stopped it, did I? And now I will.
No. It hasn't stopped it.
Okay, but it doesn't matter because so now I would see. Can you
Annemarie,
see? Ja.
Wenn du da runter gehst in die unterste Zeile, ich glaube weiter nach rechts.
Ja.
Rechts, links von bei dem Minuszeichen.
Doch, Freigabe unterbrechen.
Also. Ja.
Links.
No?
Technik.
Yeah. You want to the whole page, right? The whole slide.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the bottom part here. When there is a minus and plus together, there is a button.
I just try to find it because I don't see a minus and a plus.
That's why. Maybe you need to reduce the. I don't know why.
Ganz unten 72%.
No.
Let me.
Wir sehen das.
Let me send you an image of what we are looking by WhatsApp. So this is our view right now. So, but you don't have the bottom part, you said?
Yeah, because I just see you three. I don't have the whole now.
But you don't see your presentation?
No.
Oh, okay. Let's do okay. I will let me take you out. I mean, not the meeting. Just unshare your presentation. I mean,
yeah, okay.
Your screen, the whole screen. In the upper part, there is a red button where you can do
stop
on share screen. Yeah, okay.
Yes, okay.
Okay, now let's do it again. Share,
Yes.
share screen.
So Bildschirm freigeben. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let's share. You put share.
Yes.
Okay, now it's coming. Okay, now, yeah, minimize it. And then you see, now you put the whole thing. Ah, right there. Okay, here we go.
Okay. Okay. Good. Because then we can start like this, and because it's the entrance you made. If you're okay. So this is the first page I do. Then you can open my screen when you said hello to the people and when I start, then
Okay.
yeah.
So you want me? I will present you both, and then you, if you want to start, I think it's better, and then you give the word to Emmerich, right?
So it is.
Okay.
So now, probably you want to leave it like that. We can start with that. Maybe we don't need to be trying to find. I mean, it's also strange for me. I'm not a millennial. I try to figure out how to work it. I think that we all of us are in the same range of age, right?
Yeah.
Mark, I have sent you my presentation, the link, so you can download.
Okay.
And we can decide if we, like, you can look at the presentation. I can do the video whenever you think it's fine.
Okay, perfect.
We can do it right for the beginning after you introduce me, or later. It's absolutely up to you.
I think could be a good option if we do it at the beginning, just to make the people feel more like, oh, I want to be there.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So that we start with the video. We start with the video, and then you make the welcome, and then I start talking about a little bit about Austria in general. I just do, a few minutes Austria in general, and where is Wachau, and what is the special about Wachau, and then Emmerich is starting.
Okay.
So you would prefer to start with the video, okay?
No, but I mean, because I don't want to give you a hard time, Annemarie, maybe we should start with this, and then before we present Emmerich, he can start with the video. Okay, this way, we cannot do on share and share.
Yeah. You say welcome, I start, then we do the video, and then is Emmerich on stage.
Perfect. Good.
Okay.
And last tasting.
I will.
You mute yourself, Emmerich. You're mute.
Okay, I will mute myself.
Yeah.
And I will stop the video, and I will be back in like 10 minutes. Okay.
Super.
Don't worry. Yeah, stop the video, and if we start, and you will be listening.
Okay.
I guess.
Thank you.
Yeah, because people are coming in and.
Okay, now let me. I'm going to start with the. Oh my God. What I did. Okay.
Let me just.
No, I need to.
Okay, I'm just doing it up to. Yeah, here I also would have a video.
Ah, nice. Probably, my friend, I will try to go. If I get the way to go to Europe,
yeah,
I will go Austria after the General Assembly.
Yes, super.
Hopefully.
But I really have a problem with the General Assembly being on a weekend. I am a working sommelier,
Yeah. But probably you can be in, I mean, a live stream, no?
Yes, of course. And I could come on for Monday. So this is.
I mean, for me, it will be okay because I haven't been traveling since more than a year already. So for me, it's going to be an opportunity to spread myself.
Yeah.
But I don't know yet because, for instance, if I go directly from Mexico, I have to do quarantine.
Yeah, of course.
But if I go to United States, I can find a way to go from United States to Italy straight with no quarantine. I don't know why, but
Yeah. That's
always,
Europe, you know. That's
yeah,
really stupid. That's really, really stupid.
yeah. Um,
Sorry.
anyway, we'll see what is going to happen. I'm going to, yeah, in 1 minute, just 1 second. I need to do the Facebook Live thing.
And it's also that we are on Facebook, and some Austrian sommeliers are also watching.
Wachau wines. Should I put Wachau or just Wachau wines, or what do you recommend?
Watch out. Yeah, watch out.
Wines of Wachau?
Watch out, yeah. So you have to tell me so I can.
Wachau wines, okay. Haz un comentario.
Wachau. Wachau.
Wachau, yeah, I know. My pronunciation is awful, you know.
Yeah. How many people are going to be there?
Usually around 20, 30. I mean,
Super.
it depends. You know, sometimes because of the different timing, sometimes it's very difficult to have more people because they are working.
Yeah, you are able to work.
Yes. But anyway, so
you already got your vaccine?
No. For me, it's going to take a long time.
Yeah. For me
here
too.
in Mexico, we are a lot of how you say
older people.
Under more than 120 million people.
Yeah.
No. Okay, 1 second, okay. Okay, well, okay, transmitir. Okay. Hold on.
Two. 1 second.
Let me check if it's working. Now we are, yeah. Bueno, I'm going to do the presentation for Facebook Live in Spanish as well. Bueno, pues buenos días a todos, tardes ya. Hoy vamos a tener una presentación muy interesante sobre los vinos de Wachau. Y vamos a tener dos invitados de lujo. Una de ellas que es una gran amiga, Annemarie Foidl, que es la presidenta de la Asociación Austriaca de Sommeliers, y Emmerich Knoll, que es no recuerdo qué generación, pero ahorita nos va a decir, de la casa Emmerich Knoll, que lleva su mismo nombre, y nos van a hablar sobre este tema que es muy interesante, que son los vinos de Wachau. Did I pronounce it well, Annemarie?
Yes.
Wow. Ok. Cualquier duda que tengan, por favor, háganoslo saber. En algunos minutos vamos a estar, vamos todos platicando sobre este tema que es súper interesante y espero que sea de su agrado, ¿vale? So, my dear friend Annemarie, thank you. You are mute. I think that you need to unmute yourself. Yeah. Welcome to Mexico virtually, and I'm pretty sure that we will have people not only here. I also put it in a Facebook Live, so we will have audience from all around the world. I'm pretty sure of that, and thank you for supporting and sharing all that we have to know about Wachau wines. I'm impressed about the wines that you're producing. So thank you, and let's start with the beginning. So
thank you to all of you, and thank you, Marcus, of giving us the chance and invitation of presenting Wachau and the beautiful wines of Austria. And because we know each other since a long time, and it's always a pleasure doing something for you. I don't have to ask you which weather you have, I guess, because you just have beautiful sunshine over there. We just had the last days a few new snowfalls, so winter isn't finished yet, and it's pretty fresh here. And so I think being with you in a very nice warm climate. And I guess I see a few faces. I guess there are some who already have been in the last tasting. In the
Yes.
last tasting away, great to see you back. Before we talk in general about Wachau, I'd like just to give you a brief introduction about Austria. It's going to be a few minutes because I'm sure that not really everyone is really aware where we are and what we do. And so the thing is, if you buy a ticket, if you want to visit us,
Yeah, for
pick,
sure.
pick the right continent. Please, you have to go to Europe and not to Australia because we are Austria and not Australia, as you really know. And
It's
you
a very
see,
good point, huh?
of course, because I have heard from people who really have been wrong. And so I don't want to. I mean, Australia is a beautiful continent too, but it's not Austria. As you see, we are in the heart of Europe, and you see the beautiful shore of Italy, and we are in the center of Europe, and we are surrounded by countries as Germany, Italy, Czech Republic, Hungary, Slovakia, Slovenia, Switzerland, Liechtenstein is a tiny little neighbor. So, and this is our flag, but I guess Mexico and Austria quite have a common history, Habsburg, and some Habsburgans have been in Mexico as well.
Yeah.
So if we talk about Austria, well, you know, Vienna is our capital. I put you a picture of Riesenrad in Vienna. So this was the first Riesenrad in the world. So all the others are coming later. So if you know the London Eye, it was because they liked the Vienna one. Stephansdom, this is our dome in Vienna. It's a beautiful dome. And Staatsoper, where we have our beautiful balls and Opernball and beautiful concerts. The best opera singers of the world are here. Of course, we are the country of mountains. So we have mountains and we also have vineyards. So we have it everything. We are tiny, but we have a big diversity. And of course, we have two very important people. Maybe you heard Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. He is one of the most important composer of classics. And of course, for those who are really not sure where to put us to, Arnold Schwarzenegger. So Arnie is a Styrian guy, and well, he made his luck in the United States, and one of the most well-known actors and well-known Austrian citizen used to be Arnold Schwarzenegger. So this is just to put us into a little bit. Talking about wine. Of course, how is it? Where are we in Austria? What do we do? So we have quite a unique shape of the country. And it's very simple, really, how to say. We are on the right side, Mainland, Steirerland. These are the regions where you find the wine regions, the important wine regions. I mean, the last years showed that more and more regions of Austria are able to produce wine. But talking about wine in real good quality and quantity, we have to say it's in the eastern part. This is also because of the climate. Because we are mainly infected by 4 climate zones. We are situated at 47th, 48th line of the globe, as you see, which is pretty the same as Burgundy. And from the western side, we have the continental climate. If you talk about the continental climate, we know this means cold nights, warm days, as well as cold winters and quite rainfall. The Uric climate from the north is a little bit more cold than the continental climate is. From the eastern sides, we have the warm continental climate, the Pannonian climate, because if you go on the right side of the country, out of the borders here, there would be Hungary. And this brings us really the warm winds, the warm temperatures from the Pannonian area. And the south of Europe, of Austria, is very much infected by the Mediterranean climate. That means a little bit more humidity. So we have the Pannonian climate brings more the dry climate, and the Mediterranean a little bit more humidity into it, which is also shown in the wines, as in the south of Austria. It's sometimes they have problems with humidity, which is not so easy. Well, here we see we have 18 wine growing regions. We have the so-called DAC, Districtus Austria Controllatus. Emmerich is going to talk about Wachau DRC, because this is very new that Wachau is also part of this. And well, we are a small and tiny wine region. So if you compare it to the rest of the world, it's just 1% of the worldwide production. And it's about 46,500 hectares. But together 14,000 wine growers. That means that each wine grower has just a very, very tiny spot. So on average, we have 3 hectares, a little bit more than 3 hectares. And but we have so many, 14,000 producers, but only 4,200 bottlers. So that means that many produce for others as well. And we have just 8 producers who have a little bit more than 100 hectares. So you can imagine how the structure is, as well as we also have a lot of wineries that produce wine since more than 1 generation, 2, 3, 4 generations. So this is also an explanation why producing wine for Austrians is something you do with your heart. So this is, of course, we have to survive economically-wise, but you do it really for many generations, and you're linked differently to the region, to the wines, to the style, to everything. It's something completely different. So what's maybe also of interest for you, that is that the global warming, of course, is something, an issue we have to deal with. So we have an increase of 1.5 to 2 degrees, which is really a big challenge for the winemakers. So Emmerich is going to tell you. Hi, Emmerich, see you. And we also very proud to say that biodynamics, that also certified and sustainable wine growing, is a big issue in Austria, and it's increasing, it's getting more and more. Generally spoken, it is that Austria is a country of the majority of white wines. So we have 70% of white wine, 30% of red wine. It is changing within the next years because global warming, and we are going to see what it is. Yeah. We do have about 36 grape varieties allowed in Austria, but I just wrote down because in this context now we just need not so many. Grüne Veltliner, of course, and we're going to talk about Grüne Veltliner today a lot. Of course, Riesling, Welsch Riesling, Riesling Italico, Zweigelt and Blaufränkisch are the most important grape varieties sorry, you find in Austria. One thing, if we talk about Austrian wine, which is also very important, this is here. This is the so-called banderole. Because for us, it is very important that we can identify Austrian wine, and really that we can say this is quality wine, sorry, which means that the wine is tasted by a jury. And you see here how the capsule is looking. You see above how it is on the bottle. So whenever you see wine bottles laying, you easily can spot the Austrian wines because they have this beautiful capsule on top. So whenever you see this, it is quality wine made in Austria, made with Austrian passion by Austrian winemakers. I just told you about Grüne Veltliner, which is going to be one of the grape varieties we're going to talk intensively today. And it's an indigenous grape variety. You find the majority of it in Austria. And it's a grape variety that really reflects a lot on the soil it's growing on. It's a grape variety which is really living off acidity. As explained beforehand, we are a country. We also are into the belt of a cold climate, so-called, and this is a grape variety that needs a lot of beautiful day and night difference in temperature, and this is why we have a beautiful acidity. We also have a lot of minerality, so Emmerich is going to talk about it because especially in Wachau, it's really pictured where it's coming from. And it's a grape variety with a lot of potential. So 40 years for a beautiful Grüne Veltliner is not a real age. So this is something, so whenever you have a bottle of a matured Grüne Veltliner, you may be happy. And because it's a grape variety that really can mature very long. The typical aromas are just a few I named here. It's like pepper, apple, tobacco, lemon, but it's also like if we talk about saffron, and so many good typical aromas we have. The majority of Grüne Veltliner grow, of course, in Niederösterreich, Wien, and a little bit also in Burgenland. Well, this is what I had to say for the moment, because I think if we have one of the best winemakers of Austria, I would like to hand over to Emmerich. And I have to say that it's a big honor that you're with us today, dear Emmerich, because you are one of these winemakers. You know, if you go around in the world, people are jealous about the wines, and you produce these wines. And Wachau is the great is the region everyone is saying first if you say you come from Austria. And you do a lot for Wachau, not just that you're a winemaker, you also are on the board and on the chair of Vinea Wachau. And you have the bottles really very characteristic. The label you have are unique in the world, and you find them everywhere. Dear Emmerich, welcome, and we listen to you now.
Hello, and good morning, good afternoon. I think it's still good morning for you. Thanks for this very friendly introduction. Yeah, welcome to this, I don't know, 45-minute seminar or showcase of Wachau, pictures, information, wine, of course. As I have heard, I hope everybody of you has received a bottle to drink of Grüne Veltliner. Welcome, everybody. And first of all, I want to say I would be really happy and I want to encourage you to ask the questions you feel are interesting. It does not really matter how detailed or how simple they are. From my side, I have really no idea where exactly you are at, what you know about Austria, about Wachau. Don't feel bad to even ask questions that don't really have to do with the growing area of Wachau, but Austria as a country. I will try to answer most of that as good as possible. Just, I don't know, unmute yourself or write something into the chat. I guess Annemarie or Mark will check the chat all the time and bring up the questions as they appear. Yeah. So I would love to, if there's anything else Mark wants to say.
Yeah. I just once again, I just wanted to say welcome, Emmerich, and thank you very much for supporting this, I would say, masterclass, because last time we did the whole Austria, but in my opinion, the best way to understand Austria is to go step by step. That's why I wanted to do it today, just about Wachau region, and obviously to have you here, it's a great opportunity to ask questions. Guys, don't feel afraid. Just try to understand what they're producing, not few years ago, centuries ago, and probably one of the most amazing places that you can find in the world about the world wine thing. So thank you, Emmerich, and you have a video, right?
Yes, I would love to start with a short video that shows the first image you'll see is the village we are in. We are making our wines, and there'll be some nice impressions. So you get a kind of a feeling for where we are, what the landscape's like, what the topography is like, the Danube and everything. So if we start this, it doesn't have doesn't have really something to say. I guess we tried, but we cannot make you hear it. But at least the pictures should be nice. I'll try to share my screen.
Yeah.
Like this.
Yeah, here we go.
Can you see it?
Yes, we can.
So the beautiful village of Unterleuben, 350 people living here, is the start of the video, and we see a part of Wachau only. It's the most eastern growing part of the growing area, Wachau, and includes the village of Unterleuben and Dürnstein. I'll just start.
I remember that I met you there when we were on the river.
Yes, some years ago.
Yes, what was wonderful.
The grower we're seeing is Leo Alzinger, our neighbor in the village, and also a fabulous wine grower. And what we can see now is the terraces of the Leubenberg, the Pfaffenberg, and the Höherek. And we now look further north, where the cold air comes from, that influences our wine style so much.
That's yours?
That's Domain Wachau. This is again the village.
Okay.
Danke.
Bless you.
Yeah, that's it. Now I guess you all feel like being here on the winery. And I have prepared a presentation.
Yes.
Let's see how we can, 1 second.
And let me tell you guys that I will post in my Facebook, the videos that I have already from Emmerich, just to let you know, because this is the shortest one, but we have different videos that I will share with you to see how does it works. Wow.
Okay, 1 second.
Yeah.
I don't do so many presentations, so please.
Don't worry. Yeah. I always have the same thing. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
You can see this?
Yes.
Yes. So that's the start. It's an image of actually the village of Weißenkirchen, right in the center of Wachau. We are looking further west towards the coolest part, towards Spitz. And okay, now how to start this? Like him.
Yeah.
Annemarie already has talked a little bit about it. We are a small growing area, only 1,350 hectares, but there is a lot of growers. The reason is that our area consists of about 1/3 steep stone terraces, as we can see here on the picture on the right side. It's a lot of manual work. It does not allow us to use tractors or bigger machines in these terraces. And that means we are counting a 4 to 6 time hourage we need to work 1 hectare on the terraces compared with the flatter areas. And this means that our growers, our colleagues, all the wine growers, are not growing their surfaces so much. They cannot manage to do another hectare this year and another hectare in the next year, because the determination basically is the work power that we need to make all this. We have a very small average grower size, smaller than the Austrian with the 2.2 hectares. On the other hand, being an area with a small growers structure, it's also an area with a very small vineyard structure. On these 1,350 hectares, we grow wine on around 130 different single vineyards,
Yeah.
Which means the average size of a single vineyard is around 10 hectares. And there is a lot of sites that are below 4 or 5 hectares, along with others, more famous ones. Well, I think we'll talk about that a little bit later. The main grape varieties I was too quick. Now, the main grape variety is Grüne Veltliner, which is the grape variety of Austria, as you all know, I suppose. But Riesling has its highest percentage of the whole country in the Wachau, with nearly 20%. The numbers are a little bit inaccurate. Riesling surface has grown in the past, and a very unique, very typical growing variety also is the Neuburger grape. We'll find rarely in Austria the highest percentage of it we still can find in Wachau.
Neuburger, it's a white grape as well?
It's a white wine grape that is not too easy in the vineyards to manage, has smaller, tiny bunches, does not have very high yield, brings can bring medium-bodied to very full-bodied wines with a kind of a nutty aroma, not too fruity, not too charming, but it's wines that age very, very well. It's basically, most of it is based in Spitz and the Spitzer Graben. Well, we can talk about that right away. The Spitzer Graben is an area, here's the videos. The Spitzer Graben is an area. Can you, by the way, can you see the mouse?
Yes, the map. Yeah.
Moving?
See your mouse. Yeah.
Good. So the Spitzer Graben, Graben is a German word for a smaller valley. The Spitzer Graben we see right here along my mouse. And actually the Spitzer Graben has been the original bed of the Danube. The Danube River has been pushed further south long time ago, but originally it was coming from this side. And Spitzer Graben is a narrow valley, very cold nights, nice daytime temperatures, but very cold nights. You see all the blue arrows that should indicate from the northern part of Wachau, northern from us towards Czech Republic, is the so-called Bohemian Mass, an area that is a little bit higher than we are. We're about 200 meters above sea level. This goes up to 500, 600, 700, 800 meters above sea, and it's relatively cold. And through those multiple side valleys heading north, basically, we have a strong influence of colder nighttime temperatures, refreshing the vineyards. You have to imagine that the cold air is sneaking down all these small valleys beside of the river, and when they end up at the Danube River, it's kind of transported further east, where the valley opens, basically. And we have another influence of warmer air from right here. The narrow valley is opening here to the so-called Krems field, which kind of built an entrance for warmer air masses to meet the colder climate that's coming from north and west. So they kind of, this is kind of the two major influences climatically that we are dealing with.
Okay. So can we say then in this part, in the east part, we will find like more red grapes, things like that?
No red grapes. No. It's a pure white wine growing area. Still, we have, I think, a percentage of probably 5 or 6% of red grapes, but that's absolutely unimportant. Okay. In a context of the image of Wachau. Okay. It has been more in the past, and it may be more in the future due to the climate change and everything. I may not really forecast what we'll have in 20 or 40 years. Today, it does not really have a big importance. Red wine grapes grown for us are Zweigelt and Pinot Noir mainly.
Okay. Yeah.
It's all white, but on these 14 kilometers along the Danube, from here, where we have Krems, to up here, the end of the Spitzer Graben, it's around 14 kilometers. We have a delay in ripeness between 10 and 14 days. That is one, because of the different influences of climate. The further we go up the Danube against the stream, the higher the vineyards are grown. In the Spitzer Graben, the highest altitudes would be 500 to 550 meters. The highest vineyards for us here in Leuben are about 400. So it's the both, it's the two. It's the altitude on the one hand, but also it is the influence of air masses, of climate that meets together in this area.
Good.
Okay?
Okay, good, very good. Thank you.
A geological map may just show you the two main influences we have in brown, right here, and also here, and red is different sorts of gneiss material. It's the so-called Köhler-Gneiss and orthogneiss type based on granite, and the brown, the other masses are red ones are a kind of an paragneiss sort, which the difference basically is that it has the original geology was different before it was metamorphed into a gneiss stone. Paragneiss is always coming with a little bit of amphibolite. Usually the wines growing on paragneiss amphibolite soils are a little bit more smoky, have more minerality, more a little bit of kind of reductive characters, I guess, where the Köhler-Gneiss, the orthogneiss soils come up with a kind of a brighter minerality, a little bit of more fruitiness.
Can I say that what we call minerality, it's this kind of aromas that you're mentioning?
Minerality is kind of a difficult term. I think same as primary rock is a difficult term. We would, as primary rocks, we would just put together everything that has been here for ages in comparison with the very young geology that we find closer to the Danube, based on loess, which is not really named here, but the loess, wind freightened, very fine sand material, good, keeping humidity very well, allowing a good supply of nutrients, which is basically the best, or part of the best sites for Grüne Veltliner are on loess soil. This I would put into the how to say, on the other hand, like we have the gneiss crystalline soil types and we have the loess sites.
Okay.
Minerality in general for me is an impression on the palate and on the nose, which is hard to describe, but basically is a combination of good acidity, of straightness, of even fruitiness, not a very intense fruitiness, but fruit can be a part of it, but it is definitely not opulency. It's definitely not fat or botrytis driven. So to me, it's easy to taste, but it's hard to describe, kind of.
Yeah,
what I want to say.
I always have these kind of talks with some people, like wine taster, wine people, and we always have the same things, because it's very easy to understand when you are trying the wines, but it's very hard to describe what it is. I just wanted, was when you mentioned all these kind of soils, like I don't know how to pronounce it, Foidl, paragneiss, ambolite. Yeah, those are coming from the volcanic part.
And it's not really volcanic, but it's a metamorph stone. It has the crystalline parts of this area, and of the bigger area actually, have been built some 100 million of years ago in the so-called Varischian race. Basically, it's a time where what has existed was dropping closer to the center of the earth, melted, and was pushed up again as an kind of an like the Alps, like a move up of masses, where it again chilled and then got crystalline. And on top of this, we have the layers of löss that came just some 100,000 years ago, and of course the sediments of the Danube that we still find very close to the river. What I wanted to show basically with this image is, even though it's a small area of just 14, 15 kilometers along the Danube, it has multiple crystalline and uncrystalline soil types. There's a big variation of soil types that allow to have very specific characters in different vineyards. Maybe that's how we can understand this this map, because I'm not a geologist either.
Yeah, I know.
We just feel and see what the wines develop if they're coming from this or that geology.
Yeah, sure.
And here we have just an image of the differences. You can see this sandy on the bottom, kind of a sandy, bright yellow, grayish part. We see as we know is löss soil. It's a great soil for Grüne Veltlinas. Allows more water. It holds more water. It supplies more nutrients. It allows more deep growing of the roots. And very close by, Steinertal and Kreutles are nearly neighbors in the vineyards. But on the terraces, we have, this is the basis of our mountains, let's say. Erodation of this material would form the soil type for our most important vineyards along the Danube, such as the Steinertal, as the Leubenberg, as the Kellerberg. This is how it looks like. It's kind of a gray, red, brown, shimmering material. Doesn't break like a slate in kind of parallel forms, but builds, when it breaks up, it builds like rounder stones that we at the same time use for the stone walls that are built. And this is more a unique thing. The marble that we find in Spitz on the 1000 Eimerberg is a very, very unique and very small area to find soil compositions like this. It's just to see about the variation. Most of it gneiss or löss. Am I too fast? Is there any questions you want to ask? Should we just go back
No,
a slide, or?
We are okay. You know, I have a question here from people from Facebook, and they were asking if is there any possibility to find there, because of the proximity of the river, some kind of botrytis in the wines? I mean, and if we have those kind of wines in this area in Wachau?
You mean of sweet wines?
Yes.
Yes, but not on an annual basis.
Okay.
We do have certain years that are magnificent sweet wine years. Just to name some, 95, 98, 2005, 2015, 2017 has been vintages that brought great sweet wines for us. The reason that it's not on an annual basis is that our climate is not as stable and as kind of forecastable somehow. If we want to produce sweet wine, it needs three situations. First, we need a good physiological ripeness at the beginning. we need rain and kind of a humid weather and high temperatures for a certain time for the botrytis fungus to start to work. And we need a following up by a warmer, dry, windy period. Our area is not like in Burgenland, the Seewinkel or other areas, an area that provides that nearly every year. We can either have it or don't. Some years there's just no botrytis to start, so we don't produce sweet wines. Other years it's rainy, it's humid, it's wet, but there is no good season after. So we don't have the time to let shrivel and shrink and vaporize. On the other hand, with the varieties growing, the Muscatella especially, the Riesling, also Grüne Veltliner, we have varieties that supply good acidity, a good fruitiness to produce great sweet wines, but it will never be the most powerful, the most concentrated. My preferred style, I would say, is in Beerenauslese style. So not too high in sugar, but very precise, elegant. And the sweet wine Knoll produces, we are actually, it's kind of a hobby for us. So it's interesting you ask the question. It's kind of a hobby for the winery, and we do a lot of sweets as it's possible. Our aim is to have kind of a winey character that is good for food, but it's not concentrating on the highest kind of concentration and the most impressive concentration. We try to keep the alcohol levels a bit higher, the sugars a bit lower, to create kind of a good drinkability, a good flow on the palate.
Okay, good. I'm not sure, but I'm almost sure that I have a Beerenauslese lesson from Knoll.
Mm-hmm.
I will check it out in a moment in my cellar.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll proceed.
Yes, please.
We are in Wachau. I have already said Grüne Veltliner and Riesling are our leading varieties. There is some other white wine varieties that are important to us: the Neuburger, the Muscatella, the Pinot group, basically. So Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, Pinot Blanc, Chardonnay has some importance. There's some Sauvignon grown. What the whole growing area is put together is the style of white, unoaked, varietal tasting dry wine. And what we see on this screen is the names of 3 brands that have been installed in the Wachau Valley in between 1984 and 86, 87. I may do a little explanation of the past here. The growing area has been defined in the mid-60s. That was the time where in Austria the first wine law was installed that allowed to name areas of wine growing. Before this, it hasn't existed as Wachau or as Kremstal, Kamptal, Burgenland. Before the 60s, we had kind of a village system. The wines people drank and people knew would always have kind of a village name. So there was the Leubner and the Spitzer and the Kremser, the Rieslings of Zöbing. There was a big number of village names. In the 60s, those villages have been put together to something called growing areas. And Wachau exists since that time in its borders. That has been announced then. Although up to the wine law of the mid-80s, growing areas have been named, they haven't been executed so, let's say, strictly. In the 80s, the beginning of the 80s brought a difficult time for the Austrian wine growing. There was bad years, 1980, 1981. There was a mass here in like winter frost was basically the problem. There was a mass quantity year in 1982. Extremely difficult situation within the whole country. And in the Wachau, there was certain growers who found that within these difficult circumstances, they were afraid that the wonderful landscape we have, the big effort we do with these terraces had to be worked by hand, would not come to a positive future prosperation if the wine prices would not stabilize. And for stable wine prices, we all know it needs kind of an system to make sure what you do is recognized well, but it's not interfered by a mass market, a mass wine market or a mass grape market. And as we have so difficult circumstances to grow grapes, are also the neighbors of growing areas that have mainly flatter areas, so easier production methods. The fear was that people would try to bring in grapes from other areas and sell them under the flag of the origin of Wachau. So namely, take the pictures of Leubenberg, but sell the wine from across the border next to the Danube. So in the 80s, there was founded an association called Vinea Wachau, which allowed members that concentrate on Wachau vineyards. So that would have their facilities within the area, that would have their vineyards within the area, and it would also confirm that they would not do anything outside of the growing area. So concentrate on this. 40 members followed. Today it's a group of about 200, and we cover, I guess, 95% of the whole area. And after they founded their association, they said, now we need to start to promote the growing area, and we can only promote what's typical for us. So it's white, dry, unchaptalized, fruit-driven wines. And as we all know, there's different weight classes, there's different styles, there's different concentrations. They started to install 3 names, brand names, which would stand for a type of wine. So left side, Steinfeder, is a feather grass, a very light grass, very kind of easy to blow with the wind. You can see it on the picture. The lightest wines of the growing area are called Steinfeder. They are less than 11.5% of alcohol. They're always super dry, crisp, acidic, very elegant, easy to drink. But still, it's a wine we drink basically young, but that's great for your aperitif, for the terraces, for the start of the day, in terms of maybe lunch or before, whatever. I don't know when you drink your wines, but it's a wine that's easygoing, that does not show too much characters of single vineyards, but it's nice to drink, nice to have, even if you have more. The Federspiel, which is the center, which is actually the most important style, with its kind of symbol, the falcon that stands for the falconry, old-fashioned but very noble way of hunting that has been done by the noble people in the Wachau centuries ago, is a medium-weighted wine, very elegant, but also with good complexity. I'd say it's the wines that are somehow a little bit lighter, but in this style, in this physiological ripeness of the grapes, we have to know that all these are unchaptalized. So what we see as alcohol has been definitely the physiological ripeness. In this ripeness level, we see characters of single vineyards. We have more definition of the single vineyards because they stay there a bit longer. There is more influence or the weather differences during the ripening period. And this is the biggest part of the Wachau production.
Yeah.
On the right side, the Smaragd, sorry?
I really like the Foidl spill because it's, I mean, first of all, it's the one that I have to pay. I mean, everyday wine, because the Smaragd, I will find something very delicious as well, but it's in a different style. And it's the one that we're going to try today, Emmerich.
Yes.
Yeah.
Has any of you tried the wine yet?
No, I'm going to open it right now.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm drinking all the time.
Good. Yeah, I'm gonna open mine, and yeah, but it's very interesting that you said this is the main part of production of the wines of Wachau.
Why is that? I think it has different reasons. Steinfeder has been installed at a time where the typical Austrian wine was powerful and a little bit overweighted. So it was a perfect antithesis to what people knew in the mid of the 80s. Also, the 80s, 70s, 80s have been a period of colder times, of not so ripe wines. The climate change pushes grapes now from Steinfeder to Federspiel, from Federspiel to Smaragd level. The Federspiel level is, I think, also price-wise the one which is most interesting, because you get a lot of wine for still a reasonable price in the end, compared with the Smaragd wines. The Smaragd wines are grown in smaller quantities. They are usually really carrying single vineyard names, and they're more complex, they are riper, they're more concentrated, as I said, almost always with their single vineyard description and their concentration, it's wines that are perfectly made for aging. 5, 10, 15, 20 years must not be a problem for a proper Smaragd of Grüner Veltliner or Riesling. In terms of food, I'd say aperitif on the left. In the middle, we are on the lighter dishes. Basically, it's a very nice fish wine, but also lighter or brighter meat dishes. Smaragd, to me, is a wine that stands perfectly for a main dish. If it's a good Grüner Veltliner, a riper Grüner Veltliner wine, also can be a very good replacement for the one or the other red wine. For people who cannot have red or just don't like red, for the main curses, for darker meat, if they're well chosen and if they're aged, I have to say, not every Smaragd wine. There is lighter Smaragds, there's more powerful ones. But if there is a wine that could replace your red, not replace, but could be kind of a company for your red on the table, it would definitely be the Smaragd style. As I said before, it's all unchaptalized, so it's naturally grown sugar, and all these wines are not oaked. We know that aging in oak brings out great wines. It's just for this area. There is no big history of it. And we are happy to have varieties that show a very good varietal character, so that we feel also it is not necessary to age them in oak. And what very often companies, oak aging, malolactic fermentation, with the climate change and the drop of acidity generally, actually this is not the wine style that we want to make. Anyway, the style or the acid levels are not extremely high.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you, in terms of the content of sugar in the must, you're using the
KMW?
Yeah, KW. How do you pronounce it? This is hard for me.
It's Klosterneuburger Mostwaage is the total term, which translated is the must weight of Klosterneuburg. Klosterneuburg is a city with a big growing school and with big research on wine, with big history. So it has been installed there. Babo installed that. It's also known as the Babo must wait. And must wait basically means that you weigh the must, and with the weight of must, you can count on the sugar. Sugar is heavier. The higher the concentration of sugar, the heavier your liquid is. Basically, that's the technique behind.
Yeah.
So with the Klosterneuburger Mostwaage, the degree of kmw actually show you the kilograms of sugar within 1 kilogram of must.
Okay.
That's the definition.
Okay. So in these terms, my question is, do you have a different maximum or minimum kmw in Federspiel and Schmaragd?
Yes.
Okay.
We have the minimum of Steinfeder is, there's no minimum alcohol, but it must be quality wine. There is a maximum of 11.5.
11.5. Okay.
So the lowest would be 10.5, more or less.
Okay.
A Federspiel wine sits between 11.5 and 12.5.
Okay.
And Smaragd level, even though a lot of people think Smaragds are powerful, heavy wines, the minimum level for alcohol is 12.5. So it's relatively low. Actually, it's not automatically a heavy wine. It can be a very delicious, very elegant, straightforward wine too. It's a wine that has more than 12.5%.
Okay.
Also, there is wines with 13 and 14 because there is no maximum level for Smaragd as we have it in Federspiel and Steinfeder. What's important to us is that if you buy a bottle of Federspiel, you should have an idea what the wine is. At the moment in Austria, there is a big discussion and people think and say it's all and only about origin. And personally, I think origin is extremely important, yes. But if you got a customer in your restaurant, or if you yourself buy a bottle of wine for your evening invitation, there is always a purpose.
Yeah.
And the choose of the wine is not only the origin, also it's the purpose. It makes a difference if you want a bottle for your beef, or if you want a bottle for your salad at the beginning.
Yeah.
And that's our clear message. If you're well educated, just look for the origin, just look for the single vineyards. It's absolutely fine. But if you're not so well educated, if you just start with Austrian wine or with Wachau wine, it may be a help to know, is this light, crisp, fresh, drink right away, or is it something that I should store for 5 or 10 years before I drink it? And that is what the three brands, the three styles or weight classes can tell you. And they should help you to find the right purpose, or you have the purpose, find the right wine for it. And if you're into this, you can, the Leubenberg Federspiel wine has more minerality, probably more straightness than the same, than a different vineyard. If you know all that, you perfectly go into the origins and into the single vineyards. But I think it's also important to pick up people, and therefore it's helpful to have a system that tells you, oh, this is going to be light or heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, I got it.
So
yeah.
We believe we want to keep both.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Thank you. Thank you, Emmerich. So it's, now we are drinking now I'm drinking.
Good.
By the way. Yeah. And this is amazing. I mean, it's one of the first wine that I tried from Wachau, the Knoll, before I visit the region. And I was impressed. But the one that I tried was the Smaragd. So I started in the opposite way, not in the stain. It's
all good.
Yeah. No. Okay.
As long as you stay with it, it's fine.
Yeah.
Here's a little impression of the stone walls in winter. And in winter actually is my favorite time to look at the stone walls, because you see the structure of the vineyards so well. And you see actually that they are not straight, kind of an industrial wall, they're always curvy and have different heights, and they're very, very well adjusted to the actual situation on the mountainside. There's a lot of stone walls built within the area, and the stone walls allow us, as they build up terraces on the hillsides, they allow us to really use every square meter on the hillsides. Not every, but almost every.
Yeah.
We can talk about that, although I said it before, 1983, the vintage or the year of the foundation of Viña Wachau. And when we published our Codex Wachau, the rules of the area, it's brought together here. It's the origin. We concentrate on Wachau wine, dry and white. There's no sugar added. There's no barrique aging done. That should basically describe the style of a typical Wachau wine.
Very nice.
Most important, it's the first area in Austria that has, by law, 100% hand harvest determination. If it's not hand harvested, you're not allowed to use the term Wachau on your label. This is by law. So somebody could do machine harvest, but then not use Wachau. As a growers association, Viña Wachau, for our members, anyway, it's absolutely forbidden. They cannot even do machine harvest and name it anything.
And one question, I mean, I know that there's just a few hectares of vineyards, but nowadays, do you have any problem to find people to do the harvesting?
It's getting more difficult, but I would not call it a problem yet. Okay. I think we would get problems if we allow machine harvest. Because what do we need the people for? We need them for a selective pick. If we stop doing it every year for all the vineyards, we lose people doing it. And there are some years where we probably could, especially in the flatter areas, we could do machine harvest, but not every year. Some years, like 2020 is the perfect example. We had a very difficult season, a lot of moldiness started very early. We had a hailstorm in the mid of August. So the grapes did not look so good. A situation where only hand harvest can really help you. If you haven't had the people working for you and doing the harvest for 3 years, where would you get them from? Where can you source people if this is not on a frequent basis? Our workers, our harvesters do come every year. And there is, of course, there's some change, and some don't come again, but others are coming. There is people who call and say, I would like to do a week of a harvest or two. So if this is part of our image, if this is part of our life, I think we'll always have people doing it.
Yeah.
The moment we lose it, I think we also face problems in the years where we desperately need them.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that,
honestly spoken, it is not a question of highest quality. You can make great wines with machines. If the berries are fine and everything is great, you can also do a good wine machine harvested. But we as an area, we as a group, we also think it is something that should be worth doing it. We should feel that the manual harvest is what we have kind of to give back. It's more a philosophy.
Yeah, I know.
Than an accounting or an marketing thing.
Let me tell you something. In my opinion, it's not only about philosophy. In my opinion, I think it's the energy of the people too. the people who carry the grapes, who do this kind of job, because that's one part of the most important part, that is when you're starting the winemaking. So for me to do the harvesting by hand, it's also, in my opinion, it's about the energy of the people who do this. And I'm pretty sure, Emmerich, if you now, all the people that are watching in Facebook and here, if you ask who wants to be there doing the harvesting, I'm pretty sure that many people is going to raise hand, including me.
We're open. You just have to come.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's the harvest also in a different sense. We're working in the vineyards the whole year, and then it's time to get the fruit of it. It should be our aim to do that also by hand, as we do so much work also by hand in the vineyards during the whole year. It's kind of it's more a feeling, I guess, than a calculated thing.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
Okay. Sea levels, we talked about that, 200 meters along the Danube, about up to 500 meters in the highest vineyards. And this should show a little bit, the map on top is the so-called Franzische Kataster map. It's an old map dating about 1820, where our area was firstly cartography worked, kind of. And even then, we see here the Höll, the Kolmütz, the Kolmitz. The vineyard names we're talking about today on our new crew map down here are still the same. So those have history. Those have been used for centuries, and they are still the same.
Yeah, okay, good.
Now, about today, what's new? Annemarie has already mentioned that. Since the last year, Wachau, not Vinea, but Wachau has its own DAC regulation. Now you're far away. I think you're not really, get every message from Austrian wine politics. Austria has, beginning with around 2000, started to install a DAC system, which is kind of a little bit like the AOC or DOC system of Italy and France. The difficulty in Austria is that every area has a little bit of different definition of it. Weinviertel started and said, we only do Grüne Veltliner in a certain style. It's an elite system. Only what's most typical for us should be DAC, Weinviertel, the rest is Lower Austria. Wachau has done the opposite. We said, we put so much effort in our vineyards, so most of the vineyards, most of the wines must come with the name Wachau on their label. But we make a structure in the importance of Ried, village, region, and accompany this with varieties. On single vineyards, we only grow our leading varieties, Grüne Veltliner and Riesling. That's what's internationally important. So if you want to name a single vineyard, it must be a leading variety. It must be something of importance, basically. No enrichment, so no sugar, no oak influence. On the medium level, village wines, we allow more varieties, everything that has history in the growing area, of course. You will find Grüners and Rieslings as well when they are mixed of different single vineyards or when they're growing along the Danube, which does not really allow such a precise single vineyard name. Could also be a Grüner or Riesling on a village level. And here there is, of course, if people feel that they have to do some enrichment or chaptalization, people can do, not if they are within Vinea Wachau and not if they are using our 3 brands. But this is not an association system. This is a law for the growing area.
Okay.
And on the regional level, we have everything that has has been grown here in the past 20, 30, 40 years. Maybe not as typical, but it shows the plurality, it shows kind of the diversity of the area, the aim of the people, the specific hobbies of our growers. There is even more varieties allowed. There is even an oak influence allowed. So this is kind of the playing field of people, what they want to do for their hobbies.
Yeah.
What is not, there's even red wine grapes included, the Pinot Noir, the Zweigelt, St. Laurent. What's not allowed to carry Wachau name is the most weird things. So there's no Cab, there's no Merlot, there's no Viognier, things like this. They are grown, some like it, but it's too, let's say, it's too special to say this is what Wachau stands for. So our system, our idea was to build up a system that gives you a clear view on the importance of wine, on the importance of variety and origin, but not to exclude as much as possible. We want to include as much as we feel can stand in some way for the growing area. Now, there may be questions to this. I can answer with the next slide, which is not so beautiful, but really is putting together everything that is important to understand the Wachau DAC system. I will not talk about this anymore. You look at it if you want. You'll be all, Mark will hand out the total presentation to everybody if that's allowed. You can look at it and really find out. And I'm always happy to answer your questions, even later in a day or 2 or 5. Just send me an email, drop me an email, what you really want to know, give me a phone call. I will also send my details to Mark later. But I don't want to make that too intense now.
Yeah. No. It's very clear. It's very, it's very precise what you were mentioned. And I will say that, do you recommend to start with the regional wines, right? And then step by step, we can go to—
You mean drink?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I think the start should be the main varieties.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And they come in every step. Grüne Veltliner can be on a regional level. A big producer, Domaine Wachau, may have a Wachau Grüne Veltliner entry-level wine. You can have them on it's good wine. You have the village wines, which have influence of the villages. Means probably they're terroir-wise not so different from each other, but climate-wise, there is a difference between Leuben and Spitz because it's a lot later there. Our wines are rounder, softer, juicier. Spitz wines are a bit straighter, a bit more forward, a bit more acidity.
Yeah.
And when you have gone a step up from regional to village, the next step is go into the cru wines. Look for the single vineyards, always named Ried in Austria. Look for the single vineyards and taste the differences. And then I guess you can go back and start with the other varieties. But I would basically look for the variety, and within the variety, Grüne Veltliner and Riesling go a little bit into deep in the origins.
Got it. Makes sense. Yeah. So the wine that we are gonna try today from your winery, it's from Leibner. So it means that it's a village, or
it's a village wine. It's sourced from different single vineyards along the Danube. Is not terroir in terms of crystalline rock or less. It's sandy alluvial soil brought by the Danube, mixed with some also other flatter vineyards. It's our kind of entry-level Federspiel, we could say, on the village level, that shows the typicity of the village, basically, and of course of the variety.
Okay, good. Ooh,
Yeah.
This wine is amazing. It's 2008. So tell me a little bit more. Okay, this is the Wachau application, right? I think I have it.
Give me 1 second. I'll be back in a second, okay?
Yeah, no problem, no problem. Ya, la verdad es que bajen esa aplicación, es una aplicación bastante interesante. Yo la tengo, pero no sé si está actualizada. Mi Wachau, y tiene unos mapas bien interesantes y las fichas técnicas de los viñedos y de las dash y de los single vineyards. También es bien interesante cómo te da toda esta información con su localización, con la subregión, la parte de cómo está localizado, el tamaño, etcétera, etcétera. Es muy precisa. La verdad, yo la recomiendo mucho, sobre todo si te quieres especializar en vinos de esta región. Creo que puede ser bastante interesante. I was explaining about the app that I said that it's amazing information that we are going to have there.
You're tasting in 2008?
Yes, 2008. Yeah, 18, sorry, 18.
18. Well, I was surprised. We haven't sent 2008 to Mexico.
I'm sorry, my fault. Too much wine today.
Oh, it's good.
Let me tell you what I found. Look at this. This is a Berenauslese.
Oh, great.
But this is I think I get it in Austria last time I went there. Yeah. I have it here just for a special moment.
I hope you have a special moment.
Yeah. Every day.
What I wanted to recommend to you is our app for your smartphones, or also to watch on the computer. It's called My Wachau. The only problem is that we are just in the process of installing a new version, which will take a while. So especially on Apple, at the moment it doesn't work. But if you give us 2-3 weeks, it will work. It's the new version then coming. And that is a perfect guide through the area, through the single vineyards. You can see here on the right side, when you're on a vineyard, all the important factors about the sites. There is it's coming with the wineries that have vineyards in this site. It's coming with a profile, with a picture of the profile, with a picture of the vineyard. So it's a real good way to get an idea, where's this wine from. When you see a bottle, you can look it up and really find out what's the issue about it. So at the moment on Vinea Wachau, on our website, you can do this in the My Wachau area, but it should soon be available on the mobile devices too.
Okay, don't worry. I will wait. I have an Apple. Yeah, I have the last version. I'm pretty sure of that. So, can you explain us a little bit about the image that you have in your label? Because it's very unique.
Okay. Yes. The image our label shows is Saint Urbain. It is the patron saint of wine growers that most of Austrians or Austrian wine growers believe in. And it is a painting done in the 50s by a Wachau painter called Siegfried Steutzner. The history is behind that he painted that for my uncle's restaurant for the Leubnerhof. And when my family started to bottle wine, they have been looking for a label and felt that the combination of a painter that the family knows very well and the saint and the picture would be the perfect combination to showcase the wines of the family, as people knew it sitting in the restaurant looking to this at the same time. So that was the idea. And now it's we're facing the 60th anniversary in 2 years. No, in
what are you gonna do? Mariachis.
61 was the first vintage to be to be published with this label.
Okay, good. Now it's an icon. I mean, when you see, it's like any other label that it's getting famous. When you see it, immediately you know that it's you don't know maybe that it's from Wachau, but you know that it's a Knoll.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right, and that's helpful, I can say.
yeah, yeah. So we need to celebrate. I will bring some mariachis with me to do a nice party there.
Yes, and I may also send you my partners in the US. They have done a T-shirt for me. I'll send you probably an image
Good.
in an, I think, kind of Southern American Mexican artwork.
Good, very nice. Good. Yeah, put me in contact, please. Yeah. So talking about pairing, because I mean, as a sommelier, we always want to, you know, to give recommendations how to pair with in traditional cuisine from Austria. What do you recommend? I mean, the wine that we are drinking, the Fiederspiel.
Oh, I'd say that's a perfect schnitzel wine. Annemarie, what do you think? It's light,
yeah, that's true.
crisp,
It's everything that is baked and has a little bit fat on it, and it's beautiful for fish and lighter meal. But it also likes a lot of herbs. Wiener Schnitzel, yes, made from veal, which is original. This would be very nice, but you also can pair it beautifully with the cheeses which are not too intense. This would be very nice. And I have to add one thing to Federspiel, because this is a category which is, even in Austria, you know, everyone is talking about Smaragd, because this is the admired classification. But Federspiel, we work a lot with it, especially in restaurants, because it's so perfect for food, and it really can age well as well. So sometimes it's not a really large gap in between Smaragd and Federspiel, I have to say, because I found in my cellar Federspiel 15 years old, and they are so beautiful to work with. So don't hurry with Federspiel.
Okay.
No, don't.
Let me share with you what I have here with me, which probably you don't know it. I'm pretty sure that you don't know it.
Good.
This is what I'm gonna have now.
That looks good.
Next time, Emmerich, that you come to Mexico, I will invite you to try this. Not only a fancy food, because I'm pretty sure that you know more than that. But this is a tripe taco. You know, today is Friday, and just out of here, it's a small place where I can find this kind of tacos. And you know what? I realized that with the good acidity wine and a good, a body wine, you can pair this perfectly. So what do you think? That it will suit good?
I would say so.
So I will let you know. But in another, yeah, tell me.
I have a problem that I've people waiting for me.
Don't worry.
So
don't worry.
May I just go quickly through your questions?
Yes, sure. Here, I think that we have one that it's your wines are not in Peru. So can I share with them, the people who are interested to import your wines in Peru? I think it could be a good option to have it there.
If you want to sell it in Peru or send it there, I'm absolutely happy. We had an au pair for 3 years from Peru, even. So there is an interest in the country. We've been super happy with her.
Yeah, okay. I will share with them. And here, if you see some problem coming with the climate change, I think that you already mentioned, but it's not a really problem. Maybe you need to adapt yourself.
Yes, that's the point. I don't see climate change as a problem. We must be encouraged to adapt. We must maybe change certain methods. But if we see climate change as a problem, we're lost, because it happens. We cannot stop it. We have to work with it. We may need to in 20, 50 years plant other varieties, but today I don't see that coming. Our climate is so variable that we have cold and warm years. It's not only getting warmer. So not for me a problem.
Perfect. Good.
Um,
So the other questions that we have, Anne-Marie already answered them, right in Facebook and here.
yes.
But before you leave, I really want to do last thing because it's I really like that. Do you like music?
Yes.
Which kind of music do you like?
Very different. Very different. I like classical on the one hand.
You are
I
Austrian.
like.
You're from Austria. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what about to put some music and you tell me how do you pair with your wines? I mean, which wine from your winery you pick and wine?
Okay.
Okay. You listen?
Oh.
You know this music?
Yes, of course I do.
So choose a wine from your winery and tell us why you pair with.
I cannot tell you why, because that's a feeling, but I definitely, I think I would go for a Riesling, because of the straightness and of the feel that it's going forward and wanting to go forward. As the pace of the music, I think, reminds me more on the Riesling side, not too powerful, more a good single vineyard Federspiel Riesling.
Okay, that sounds good. I will try to get one Riesling next time that
Go ahead.
Yeah, and this one, just it's a different style. Have you listened?
Okay, that's a Grünes Marak. Easy. It's nice to lay back with an old one, bottle.
Yeah, but like a 20
Just lay back and enjoy.
Yeah. Okay, and the last one, and we finish.
Okay.
I don't want to give you here more time because I know that you are very busy now. Sorry, guy. Okay. This one. When I listen this kind of music out of Mexico, makes me feel like a Mexican.
Okay. Tell me, what do you drink with it?
I drink usually a nice shot of mezcal to remind me that my origin, my country, my culture, my customs. But which wine do you pick with you? I mean, with this kind of music.
To me, it was again more on the Riesling side.
Riesling, more precise, more vertical,
yes.
Good acidity, a lot of minerality. Okay, I will do it. I will do it. Well, thank you, Emmerich. I don't want to take you more time here. Thank you very much for your presentation. We keep in contact. I will share with the guys the presentation also and the videos that you are going to send me. And thank you, Anne-Marie, my dear, beautiful friend, Anne-Marie. I hope to see you very soon somewhere in the world. Thank you, both of you guys.
Yes.
Nice seeing you again.
Hey, Francisco.
Dominic, that you know it already.
Yes. Let me say thank you to everybody who has joined in. It was very nice to have you here for this kind of seminar. I hope to hear back from those who are coming for the harvest. And again, I'll send over my details or I can even put it in the chat. So if anyone wants to know or send over some messages, just go ahead. Thanks a lot for being here. Enjoy your afternoon. I'll go for some steaks now I have to prepare for my friends.
Very nice.
And yeah, enjoy.
Tell me, which wine are you gonna try now? Yeah, okay.
I do have a Riesling Leubenberg Smaragd, and I'm done.
Okay, perfect. Good, my friend. So I see you soon. How do you say in German?
Prost.
Prost. Prost. Prost, my
Gesundheit.
friends.
Gesundheit and
Yes.
Prost. And I have something not salty. I have also something sweet because Wachau also is very famous for Marillen apricots. And there is also something you have to taste when you're in Austria. And this is an apricot dumpling because this is a
Oh.
dumpling which is filled beautifully with apricots. So this is something really I can also recommend a lot. And it has to be said that we have been talking about, of course, today we talked about how the wines of Wachau are. And it has to be said, that you find Veltliner and Riesling in majority, but of course you find a lot of Neuburger, Muscatella, Chardonnay, Weißgipfel sometimes, which is the old name of Grüne Veltliner. So you have a large variety, and it is that in Wachau it's also very good, very nice to go by bicycle. This is also very, you can take the boat, you have beautiful hotels, restaurants to stay in. Some of the highest rated restaurants are located in Wachau, and here you really see the perfection of the combination of food and of the pairing, which is really to recommend. So whenever you come, you have to take a little time because it's very hard to decide where to go to because there are so many good winemakers, and it's always something very special. And as we have been talking about, there's always, is Wachau, Kremstal, Kamptal, Dreisental, the Grüne Veltliner, it is that it's not so easy to distinguish where they come from, Weinviertel, but they all have their own style. So whenever you come to Austria, a tasting of Austrian Grüne Veltliner, this is something you have to try. And next time, whenever you see terraces, don't think on Priorat, think on Dora. You think next time you think to Wachau because this is what we are famous for, and I hope you enjoy it.
As you know, my friend, I'm a very good, I will say, ambassador of your Austrian wines in Mexico.
Yes.
I really like them. So I want to ask you something very important. What is going to be the next region that we are going to talk in the future?
Yes, which one? Which one do you? Maybe we talk about a red wine. We just talked about. Do you have red wines in Mexico as well?
Yes, we can find. Yeah, we can find some from Niederösterreich and I mean from Blood Frankish from. Oh my gosh.
I mean, I could show you. It is, Neusiedlersee, the region of Neusiedlersee, which is a little universe.
Yeah. So maybe we can talk about that and also about Burgenland. Yeah,
it's Burgenland. Neusiedlersee is in Burgenland.
Yeah.
And so this would be something really because, Austria is a white wine country, but we produce really nice red wines as well in a different style as you have in South America and North America. As already mentioned, because we are a cool climate, and so the wines appear differently. But as you would know, the wine styles are changing, and the style of Austrian wine is more and more popular international outside of Austria as well, because they try, all those jammy, fatty things. You want to have more, these where the grape variety comes through, where the terroir comes through, and Austrian winemakers are really good in this, and so maybe it would be nice to have red wine.
Yeah. Okay, let's do it. Let's get fun about this. And thank you, my dear. You are very kind with me, and you always want to share with people. In Facebook, we have people from different parts of the world, like Peru, Chile, and Paraguay, and Argentina, and many other places in Latin America.
South Africa, we have. Then we have, of course, Austria. Then we have Canada,
Yeah,
Michelle,
yeah.
then Joe from South Africa. We have, so this is just, I don't know, Japan. No, it's not Japan, but so it's going around. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite good. We are quite famous now. I would
You've
say
done a
that.
good job. Thank you. And thank you.
So we keep in touch and let's talk about in the future and which day it's better for both, and let's make it happen.
So we will. Thank you
Okay.
and all the best.